Laser sights can deter threats and aid in quick target identification, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, now available on iTunes and other podcast clients, and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android. Feel free to call Tom now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN or 866-825-5486, or email Tom at guntalk.com. Now, once again, here's Tom.
All right, well, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. The number is 866-TALK-GUN. We are a couple of weeks away from Christmas. The snow is flying all over. What do you do, by the way? Do you do anything to your gun or guns to prep them for winter, for cold weather? Have you ever even thought about it? Now, if you live in Miami, no, you cannot call in and just laugh at us, okay? I mean, come on. That's just rude. We don't do that. But seriously, if you are in cold weather conditions, what do you do to your guns, for your guns, to protect, maybe just, preventative maintenance? But there have been occasions when a gun just didn't work when it was really, really cold. I mean, people do hunt in 0, 10 below, 20 below. Think of deer hunting in Saskatchewan for those monster deer they have there, and it's 20 below. You get that buck of a lifetime out there, pull the trigger, and nothing. 866-TALK-GUN. One of the things that's fun about being in the firearms industry for so long is you make friends, you get to know people, and you spend time with them. Kind of here and there, but you catch up. It's about 2 months ago or so, I got a chance to go see the relatively new Remington factory in Huntsville, Alabama, and that is very cool, very impressive. But I got a chance to catch up with an old friend there who joins us right now. John Fink from Remington joins us. Hey, John.
Hey, Tom, how you doing today?
Well, I am well. I hear, the grapevine tells me that you have been hunting elk.
Yeah, I had the good fortune to draw a tag in New Mexico for this past. It was good for this past October, so went out with our Model 700 Ultimate muzzleloader and hunted elk in the Gila National Forest. Real treat.
Nice. Okay, there are going to be a lot of people who don't know. They're going to say, is a muzzleloader really enough for an elk? Because, there are a lot of people who say you can only kill an elk with a 452 millimeter Mega Blaster and all of that. So what were you using?
Well, we were out there hunting with our Model 700 Ultimate muzzleloader. And I guess, first to answer your question, is a muzzleloader adequate for elk? Absolutely it is, and in fact, the state of New Mexico recognizes that, and they actually have a special, muzzleloader season, and that was the tag that I had applied for. That hunt started on October 15th and, ran for 5 consecutive days, and, shooting our Model 700 Ultimate muzzleloader, built on the 700 action, primed, with our proprietary and patented priming system, which really uses a piece of modified 308 Winchester brass that's been cut down to basically a pistol length, piece of brass. But then unique to that also, we've got a little chamfer on the mouth to help it mate up and slide over the breech plug system, and a chamfer on the flash hole so you get a good tight seal there so we're not losing any gas back through the flash hole. Primed with a 9.5 Magnum rifle primer. But really, what this allows us to do, Tom, is set a whole new standard in muzzleloader performance and shoot and burn 200 grains of black powder substitute. And I'm shooting the 777 pellets and a 250 grain bullet, our premier AccuTip bullet, which is an all copper construction and just works absolutely wonderfully. On deer.
What you're talking about, John, what it sounds like is that the ignition is such a big thing in muzzle loading that you have come up with a system to get more consistent. That's the word I'm looking for. More consistent and more reliable ignition of the black powder charge or the substitute, does that end up, I'm just thinking it probably would, does that equate to more accuracy with having this more consistent ignition?
Well, it does. And, I mean, during the, development of this product, when we're shooting accuracy and shooting across our ballistic screens for velocities and checking pressures, I mean, our shot-to-shot velocity variations were very, very narrow. I mean, we had some strings where shot-to-shot variation was less than 15 feet per second from shot to shot.
Holy cow.
Pressures maintaining, very consistent levels. I mean, we're really seeing and saw during the development consistency that exceeded, a lot of hand loads in centerfire cartridges.
Yes, just exactly what I was thinking. All right, so tell me about the hunt. What kind of terrain are you in over there? How are you hunting there?
Well, I hunted with a guide, guy out by the name of Jeff Lester out of Springerville, Arizona, and the name of his outfit is Hunt Hard Outfitters, which, Hunt Hard Outfitters really described the terrain we were hunting in. Talked to Jeff, several times over the spring and summer months before coming out there, and always within the first sentence or two, he's like, you better be in shape. You better be in shape. Yep. The Gila National Forest is all roadless, so it's hike-in only. Now, you can use horseback, and fortunately we did use horses to pack the elk out, at the end of the successful hunt. But elevation, coming from the East Coast, first thing was, elevation. I live here in Alabama where I'm living at about 700-foot elevation. So multiply that by 10 at the area where we were parking, which was at about 7,000 feet, and then climbing up from there. And, getting up 76, 77, 7,800 feet every day. And, where I ended up shooting this elk was 3 canyons over from where we had parked and, a little over 7 miles in. So we're hiking in every day, hiking out every evening, and getting up on these high ridges and glassing. Beautiful country. I love that type of hunting. And seeing a lot of elk. I shot this elk, got in close, second afternoon, shot him at 90 yards, slipped into him, bedded down. He was bugling in his bed, got to within 90 yards of him, and he stood up broadside and shot him through both shoulders. But during the course of the hunt, saw bulls immediately on morning number 1 and throughout the day of day 1. And saw 3 or 4 good bulls, shooter bulls besides the one that I shot on day 2. So really
what a great hunt.
A neat area, neat country, and just a great all-around experience, and truly blessed to be able to get out there with a muzzleloader and put it to work in the field.
Boy, you had a good time.
I did. And, that's something with everybody at Remington on the product management and product development team. We're all hunters and we're all shooters. So being able to get our products out in the field, that we've developed and worked on is a special time for us. And it allows us to, work through things during the product development process to help us understand, how people use these products, because we're hunters and shooters ourselves. So,
all right. So tell me what's the newest, coolest thing that you're going to be either talking about now, or that you're go ahead and spill the beans. Tell us what you're going to be showing at SHOT Show.
Well, we continue to expand the V3 platform, the V3 autoloading shotgun, and we've just started shipping our walnut versions of that. For the last year and a half, we've been shipping synthetic in the black synthetic and camo. And now we have walnut options out there as well in the 26 and 28-inch barrel.
Nice.
On the handgun side, we recently announced our new 9mm in the RP9. And so we'll be rolling that out and have that at SHOT Show. And actually, we'll have those on retail shelves right before SHOT Show. So we're going to start shipping here at the end of December on these 9s. And we've actually been building them since September. and just stacking them up in the warehouse, and we're getting ready to release those. And they'll be available nationwide here, around the first week of January.
So Remington is really an all-around firearm company now, doing obviously rifles and shotguns, but you become not just a dabbling in, but a major handgun company.
Absolutely. And we've got a lot of resources devoted to managing the handgun line, developing the handgun line. You saw firsthand, when you visited us in Huntsville, the floor space designated to the handguns.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what's the one thing, John?
While a rifle at Remington started with a flintlock barrel, the roots of this company really are in handguns, and we're really getting back to that. Not saying we're taking our eye off the ball on long guns, because we're not, but
right.
It's a big deal for us.
Okay, let me ask you, the time left here. You got 30 seconds on the elevator to tell people what's new, what's cool from Remington. What do you tell them as of this moment?
As of this moment, I talk about the R51, the RM380, the RP9. Those are some of the biggest and newest things from Remington, as well as our V3, bringing us back into dominance in autoloading shotguns.
That's very cool. John Fink from Remington, thank you. And congratulations on that elk, a muzzleloader elk in some hard country. That's one worth talking about, man. Hey, I'll see you in Las Vegas before you know it.
Yep, looking forward to it. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, John. All right, it's open lines now. Time for you to give us a shout. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in. Did you see that crazy story out of Florida? The one that said, how can people be buying guns and taking them home if they don't have carry permits? What would be your comment to the reporter for that one? 866-TALK-GUN.
Smith & Wesson Performance Center firearms combine old-world hand craftsmanship with modern technology. Carry comfortably and confidently with Performance Center pistols and revolvers. Or take aim with their fine-tuned modern sporting rifles. For unique designs and special features, experienced shooters look to the Performance Center for all their firearms needs. Performance Center by Smith & Wesson. Performance when it matters most. For more, go to smith-wesson.com/PC.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
In the field or on the range, you need a trigger you can trust. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. A Timney trigger could mean the difference between a great shot and a miss. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. To order, go to TimneyTriggers.com. That's TIMNEY Triggers.com.
A decade since it was first introduced, the Taurus Judge still rules. This isn't just any personal defense revolver. This is an everyday gun. With its decisive stopping power, it's the original 5-shot game changer. Today it's available in more than a dozen models and capable of chambering both 45 Colt and 410 shot shell. You be the judge. Taurus Judge, what legends are made of. Visit TaurusUSA.com.
I've been watching the news. I'm down here in the South Louisiana area. Had a couple of road rage type shootings. They're under investigation. In one case, there's a trial underway. Whether they were or were not justified, as I look at the stories, one thing that is completely clear to me, and this is true in many, many of these situations. there were multiple opportunities to disengage. And that leads me to throw some thoughts out here. I'm reminded of Clint Smith when he does his little talk, and he talks about, people say, well, when would you shoot? He says, look, I'm driving down the road. Somebody goes by and flips me the bird. He says, I'm just going to wave at them like I don't even know what they've done. They try to stop in front of me. I'm just going to stop short. I'm going to try to disengage. If I have to drive away, I will. If they come after me, I'm going to keep the car doors locked. Of course, they're always locked. If they stop the car and get out and start beating on the hood, I'm not going to do a thing to them. If they come over, however, and start trying to break in a window, I'm still not going to do anything to them. But if they reach in the car, that's a different thing. At that point, I probably would shoot. What can you take away from that? It's all about having it in your mind before it starts. And what you need to have in your mind is, I am not going to get involved in this in any form or fashion. Yes, he cut me off. Don't care. Yes, she or he flipped me the bird. Don't care. Yes, he got in front of me and then started slowing down. He's messing with me, or he's tailgating me. Call 911. Drive on. Call 911. Drive on. If need be, take a different route, but don't go somewhere where you have to stop. If you stop, there can and probably will be a confrontation. Try to keep driving. Call 911. Report this crazy driver. Get your ego out of the situation. Well, he disrespected me. So what? Grow up, for God's sakes. Here's the thing. Most people don't project down the line of where could this end up. And where this could end up is somebody's bleeding on the pavement. Might be the other guy, but might be you. Might not be you. It might be the person sitting in the passenger side of your car because you were dumb enough to get involved in a thing where bullets ended up flying when you could have avoided it in the first place. So think about your wife and your kids. Disengage. Don't be there when the trouble breaks out. Road rage. Let somebody else do it. You know, that whole road rage thing cannot keep escalating to the point of violence if you don't help it along. And if you decide early on, I am not going to be that person, then you're probably never going to be in that situation. Let's go to line 4. Robert's with us out of North Dakota. Robert, you saw that story, did you? Coming out of Miami? I mean, what'd you think of that thing?
Tom, I can't believe it. Just a couple of quick comments. I tell you, every once in a while, archaeologists discover some previously unknown species. Well, this is an unknown level of idiocy with that story out of Florida. And I always like to say, trying to reason with a liberal gun banner is like trying to reason with someone who's drunk. You just can't do it.
It's so true, Robert. I mean, but you got to admit, as you're hearing this thing, and they're saying, well, more people are buying guns than have carry permits. How can they even get them home if they don't have a carry permit? You're kind of torn between just laughing your head off or your head just explodes in the process. But it really is pretty funny, at a certain level.
When I get home, I got to congratulate my 5-year-old grandson because his level of intelligence far exceeds the level of intelligence that I'm hearing with these people.
Oh, goodness. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate the call. Great comment. Charles is with us on line 3 out of Indiana. He's got a range report for us. Hey, Charles, what you been shooting?
Hey, I just wanted to bring a little attention to that SIG P290 RS.
Yeah?
What I want to talk about was they have a 380 version. We originally got my mother the SIG P238 back when I didn't really know a whole lot. She was new to guns, and it was a little complicated with the safety and the one in the barrel and the hammer being cocked and all that. And she shot my 290 and loved it. And we found out they made it in 380, and the slide on the 380 290 is just about as light as the slide on the 238. You can slide it back with your pinky on the rear sight, and just
exactly.
In fact, about a whole lot.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You used the exact example I was going to say. Is that you literally? People talk about, well, slide's hard to work. You literally can put your pinky finger on the rear sight and pull the slide back without on the whole thing without exerting much energy at all, because the spring is light and they're just easy to work. You were talking about the SIG P290. That's a really nice pistol.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people talk about the 238, and I mean, it's a nice gun. The 290 is a little cheaper. I work at a gun store kind of part-time, and whenever we're out of them, I'm like, oh man, I don't get to sell one of those today, because they're easy sell once you bring it to people, and it's just not real popular for some reason. I don't. I bought the 290 because they come out with the Glock 9mm, and I wanted something that size, and I went with the 290, and just maybe there's too many Glocks out there, and
oh my gosh, that's heresy. You know that there are going to be Glock people all over the world that they're just going, what? Did he just say there's too many Glocks?
I tell you what, I probably put 500 rounds through my 290, and yeah, the trigger is longer and a little bit heavier, but that trigger, it taught me a lot about shooting. It made me a better shot with my striker fire guns, and it was a pretty neat experience.
How did that work? Tell me how that trigger made you a better shooter.
Just, you got to discipline yourself a little bit just because of how long the trigger pull is. If you work on being accurate with it and doing a very slow, repetitive motion 100 times to be able to move up and do it a little quicker, each 50 times, I don't know, nobody could sit me down and just say, hey, squeeze it this way or this or this. You just got to get out there and do it. And that, with it being longer and heavier,
you concentrate more. You stay on the sights.
Shot, I guess.
Exactly. It's a great point, and I appreciate you bringing that up. That's a great point. The gun actually taught him to be a better shooter. Staying on the sight, staying on the trigger, pressing the gun through. Don't try to time the shot. Just pull the trigger on back. Just move it on back. It is very much the same as a double-action revolver. Don't try to time it and pull it back and then snap it at the end. Just sweep it back, sweep it back, sweep it back, and stay on the front sight. And basically, this gun works as kind of somewhere between a double-action and single-action. Yeah, the SIG P290 RS, really nice pistol. I tell you what, when we come back, we'll take your calls, 866-TALK-GUN. You plan on getting a gun for Christmas? Or maybe giving one? What's on the list?
Want your opinion to make a difference? Log on to our website and take the Gun Talk poll, www.guntalk.com. Now, once again, opinion page regular contributor for the Washington Times, here's Tom.
All right, here's the deal. There's a gun that you want. I could give you all the reasons to get it, all the reasons not to get it. Bottom line, if you can afford it, get it. This is kind of a little aside, but I was part of a conversation this past week. Somebody was asking about what cars are going to be collectible. And what should I buy that will become collectible or maybe become more valuable, whatever. But there was a line in the conversation somebody offered and said analog is collectible, digital is not. I thought, that's interesting. Nobody collects electronic battery-driven watches. Watch guys, I don't even know that there are a lot of watch gals, but watch guys like analog watches. There may be nothing more analog than a gun. They're just cool. They're just purely mechanical. They just, if nothing's broken on them, they just keep working. Batteries don't run out. Chips don't go dead. You don't have to reprogram. You don't have firmware. They just work. And the beauty of that is they'll work today, tomorrow, next week, next year, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now. So when you're thinking about, should I buy this? Just say, okay, well, what else can I buy with the full expectation? Here's the deal. With the absolutely full expectation that it will outlast me. Darn little, not a lot out there you can buy with that kind of expectation. Let's go to line 2. Boyd's with us out of Mississippi. Boyd, talk to me about no gun signs.
Yeah, I've got a concealed carry, and I've had it with the enhanced for about 5 or 6 years. And I guess a while back I got on the bandwagon of, if that store's got that sign, no guns allowed, I'm not going to patronize it. But after a few conversations with a few attorneys and some other people, I found out it's not necessarily the store owner saying he doesn't like guns there. It's the insurance company saying, if you don't have this sign, we're charging you X more. And that just kind of enlightened me a little bit about that. It's like, okay, I understand. And then again, I don't want to encourage anybody to break the law, but if you're concealing properly, they don't know you have it in the first place.
So what have you done after all that conversation? What is your policy now? What's your practice? What do you do?
I carry everywhere I go. And I was
simple, straight up.
I was blessed with a sway back, blessed or cursed, I don't know which is the case. And so, I've tried, and I don't want to get on to any of your sponsors' toes or anything, but I've tried SDMs, I've tried LC9s, I've tried all these things, and I just can't get away from the 1911. And I was blessed with a back that can do it without printing.
Man, I'm there. If you can carry a 1911 and if you can shoot it and if you like it, what in the world's wrong with that? It's Jeff Cooper said it's the best fighting handgun ever made. It's kind of hard to find fault with that, since I don't care who you are, with the exception of maybe that Austrian company. Everybody who makes pistols seems to be making a 1911, even if they make polymer guns. So everybody figured out that the 1911 is still fabulous after more than 100 years. So more power to you. Oh, let me just talk about this deal with these gun-free zones or gun-free signs. When somebody puts up a sign in their store, even if they're doing it because insurance company said, if you don't put this up, we'll charge you more, I would submit that maybe we have a role to play, which is to say it will cost you even more if you put it up. So if they say, we're going to charge you another $1,000 a year, I said, well, that's easy. I'm going to cost you more than $1,000 just with my mouth. Take the sign down. Or everywhere I go, I'm going to tell people that's an unsafe place to go. We have a role to play in this. And maybe to explain to them. The other thing I would offer, if you're a store owner in an insurance company or comes to you and says you need to take that down, I would say, well, then I want it in writing from you that your insurance will cover me if someone gets injured in my store because they couldn't carry a gun, because you, not me, you required this sign. So are you, the insurance company, going to cover me when somebody gets mugged or robbed or raped, even in the parking lot? Because if they can't have it in the store, they can't come across the parking lot with it. Are you going to, Jim says, are you going to indemnify me? And I want it in writing. And that's where having a really good broker comes in. You need to have an insurance broker, your salesperson, who will go to bat for you with the insurance company, not just somebody who's an order taker. That's easy. You can just buy that stuff online, but then you don't have anybody in your corner for that kind of stuff. So it's an interesting point. I do understand what you're saying, and I know people say, well, the insurance company, says I got to do that. Well, you know what? Who's paying the bills? Whose money is it, after all? It's not the insurance company's money. And it may mean switching to a different insurance company. That's okay. Here's the other thing. If you don't do it, you should be checking your insurance rates every year or every 2 years and see if you can get a better rate somewhere, whether that's your business, your car, your house, whatever. Shop it around and tell the company you're with now, hey, I'm shopping this. See if you can do a better deal for me. Always a good idea. All right, here's my question for you. What's your policy when you see the no gun sign on a store, movie theater, wherever? Do you turn around? Do you talk to them about it? Or do you just develop sudden fit of blindness as you go through the door? 866-TALK-GUN.
Nosler has been a leader in bullets and ammunition for decades and keeps growing with new product introductions that follow this tradition. Accurate, highly effective bullets and ammo for long-range shooting, precision rifle competition, and big game hunting. To be the first to hear about new product releases and promotions, follow Nosler on Facebook and Instagram and become part of the conversation. You won't settle, and neither will we. Nosler.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
The Ruger American Rifle is a 100% American-made firearm that offers outstanding performance at a great price. Available in standard size and compact models, it features power bedding integral bedding blocks, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, a flush-fit 4-round rotary magazine, and a 3-lug bolt with 70-degree throw. Compact models feature a shorter length of pull and a shorter barrel for a reduction in overall length of more than 5 inches. The Ruger American Rifle, another rugged and reliable firearm from Ruger.
All right, back with you. 866 Talk Gun will get you in here. Let's see here. Line 1, Leonard is in Texas. Hey, Leonard, you got a range report that sounds real interesting. What have you shot?
Well, I have this old Kentucky pistol that I had. I called you about 2 or 3 months ago, I believe. I was saying I was talking about it.
Yeah.
And I just finally finished it. Within 3 weeks, I was too damn lazy to go to the range until it was a nice day.
Yeah.
Went to the police range and actually shot at the 10-yard line and could actually hit the damn target. I was impressed.
So, did I see this right? You've been working on this thing for 19 years? What's the deal?
Family. You know how that goes.
Well, so the first time you took it out, you hit the target.
You hit the damn target, but I could understand about trigger control on those flintlocks. I don't know how in the 17th century they were able to hit anybody with that smoke going out and then finally the ball coming out.
Yeah, exactly. When you shoot, you kind of duck down and look underneath the cloud of smoke. Well, that's a great range report, and congratulations on finishing the project. That is absolutely terrific. Let's see, line 3, Ivan is in San Antonio, Texas. Hey, Ivan, what you looking at?
Hey, Tom, thank you. I need your help. I need your enabling help, if you mind. I need to know which one would you buy first. I plan to own both of them, but which one would you buy first if they were facing in front of you? A Kimber Custom 2 1911 or a Springfield Loaded 1911, both in 9mm. I'm a big 9mm guy, so I like the 1911 platform in that caliber. I think it's just awesome.
Okay, so tell me what it is you like about each of them, the Kimber Custom 2 or the Springfield Loaded. What do you like about one versus the other?
I got this bug to collect 1911 to 9mm, and so far those two models have been showing up over here in San Antonio lately. So it's just like, well, I eventually plan to own both, but which one would I buy first?
Well, they're very similar. That's why I'm asking, what is it? But you just want to own, do you want to own like every brand of 1911 and 9mm?
Eventually, yes. That's my goal. I already have two 1911s and 9mm. So, I mean, I plan to keep going with Springfield, Kimber, Colt, even throw Taurus in there, just to own them and just to hand those down. That's pretty much my That's my bug.
I have no problem with that. All right, there's a tool that we use for making these kinds of decisions. It's a very scientific tool. It's a very precise tool, and you have one with you. It's called a coin.
Oh, nice. That's very nice.
You can't go wrong. I mean, they're both great pistols. You're not, you're going to get a nice 9mm. And here's the great part. You're going to end up owning both of them anyway. So it really comes down to which one do I want to have now versus a little bit later. Pick one. I can tell you that I've owned both, and I've shot both. They both are great. It's just no way to go wrong. The beauty part is you haven't given me a choice of a bad one. So I'd say if there's a brand that you say, I really like that, or I really like that, get that one. And then as quickly as you can, buy the other one. You're going to be happy.
Buy the other one, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah,
Can I give a quick shout out to Jury's down here?
Do it.
Yeah, so the other day, they have a program. I don't know how many people know. It's a buy-up program. You can basically buy a rifle or a shotgun or a small, I'm not sure about pistols, but for your kid, and when they grow out of it, Jury's will give you the full value of the firearm that you bought towards a bigger one as they grow older. I thought that was the neatest program. Well, I thought it was neat until they showed me a Benelli Montefeltro, and let me tell you, Tom, once you hold that, you don't go back.
I've got one in 20 gauge. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's a great shotgun.
I fell in love with it.
Yeah. Okay, so Jury's Guns, for those who don't know, durysguns.com, you buy a gun for a kid, and then when the kid outgrows it, you can go and trade that gun in on another gun, and they will give you the full original purchase price for that first gun?
Yes, correct. As long as it's with them, they'll even give you a certificate of you and your kid, take a picture. And, I mean, for a gun store, any gun store, to give you a full value when you trade up or the original firearm, that tells you that they care more about, customer service on their pocket. I thought that's a very neat program.
Well, yeah, if you know the people at Dury's, that makes all the sense in the world. They do care about kids and getting kids involved in shooting and hunting, and they're a family-oriented company. It's just, I love working with those guys. They are just top-notch. I was not aware of that program, but that is outstanding. I appreciate that range report. Let's see here. Let's get, let's see. Where am I going here? I think I had, there he is. John in West Leechburg, Pennsylvania, actually on 4. Hey, John.
Hey, good afternoon, Tom. How are you?
Great.
Hey, about the gun-free free zone signs in the restaurant or whatever it was,
right.
I'm not going to take such a hard-line approach here if it's required by the insurance company. Now, you as the store owner, you filled your obligation, but the art of compromise comes in here. Why not have, talk the man into putting up another sign that says, the insurance company threatened to raise my premiums $1,000 a year if I don't put this sign up.
Mm-hmm.
That way, I'm a hardworking man. I understand what $1,000 is. You understand what $1,000 is. Everyone else does. Now I'm satisfied that he's told me that he's being pressured into it.
Sure. The other thing that might happen is I know people who would say, okay, here's $1,000, take the sign down.
Okay, I don't know those people.
Well, I mean, there are people, but you know what? If you had 10 buddies or 20 buddies, you go in and say, is that what it's going to take to get this sign down? Oh, okay, we just might do that. Or you can even do a GoFundMe deal to help them take the sign down. Say, okay. Or, of course, the other thing that happens is if somebody puts up that second sign that John's suggesting, my guess is there wouldn't be any complications if you carried it there. Of course, again, concealed is concealed, as we often hear. What are your thoughts? When you see the no gun sign, do you turn around? Do you ask to talk to the manager? Or you just kind of look the other way and go through the door? 866-TALK-GUN. This is Gun Talk. Back with you. Charlie is on line 2 calling in from Illinois. Different rifles
Good day, Tom.
for self-defense. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Tom. I seen a segment on your Gun Talk TV there where you done a comparison of the AR-15 as a home defense weapon as opposed to others, and I had to try that. Well, I took it out, and it went through 2 milk jugs and stayed in the third one, the 60 grain projectile did.
Okay.
But I took my M1 carbine out, and it went through 6 milk jugs.
Yeah. Well, it's a pistol cartridge. Yeah. Now, that was a full metal jacket bullet, I'm guessing, and the M1 carbine.
Both of them were full metal jackets, yes.
Yep. That's the thing that surprises people, because everybody says, well, AR-15 full metal jacket, it's just going to go through walls and cars and trees and around the world. And then when you do actually go out and shoot it, and you go, wait a minute, the full metal jacket out of an AR wouldn't go through 3 milk jugs full of water? And your test exactly duplicates our results, which is it's a pretty good tool for home defense. So what was your takeaway after you did your own test?
I thought, wow, this thing actually is a good thing for home defense. So I put my AR-15 out and put the carbine in the safe.
Yeah, AR-15 is a really good home defense tool as long as you have it equipped right and as long as you understand how to use it. What do you have for sights on your AR?
I've got open sights and a red dot.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think a red dot is really key. The only thing, if you don't have it, I would suggest is sticking a light, a flashlight
also,
on
I've got
your
a laser
AR.
and a light on it, too, as well.
Well, oh, man, you're well ahead of the game here. You got it figured out. Now, you have it. Now, all right, the last one then, you probably got this too. Do you have a sling on it?
Yes, I do.
Dadgummit, you got everything. Rats. You got the complete package there. Okay, so we got an AR, iron sights, red dot, light, laser, and sling. And I don't even have to ask you if you know what you're doing with it, because if you got all that stuff on there, you know how to run it.
Yes, I do. I've been
Very
watching
good.
a lot of the shows on the TV.
Well, cool. I'm glad you're watching Gun Talk TV. That's very cool. And Gun Venture and Guns and Gear and all the other stuff that we're doing. Thank you very much. I appreciate that call. That is, it surprises people. They go, oh, no, you have a rifle. You just shoot through everything. No, actually, your pistol will shoot through a lot of sheetrock walls. Buckshot will go through a lot of sheetrock walls. But an AR-15, I don't care pretty much what the bullet is, it's not going to. Especially if you're using just regular FMJs or even better varmint bullets. Very effective for self-defense at stopping an attack, but they don't penetrate all these walls and keep going and out into the neighborhood or through a bunch of walls, and who knows what's on the other side of them. Just food for thought. And I like the fact that Charlie didn't necessarily believe what we did with our test. Now, look, we're pretty careful about doing all this testing stuff, right? I set up 3 different walls, and each of them had 2 sheets of sheetrock and the spacing between them on the 2x4s, and then we shot through all of them to see what would work. And we spent a full day doing all this test with handguns, shotguns, rifles, different loads, different calibers. Charlie says, well, that sounds interesting, but I'm going to do my own test. Good. Excellent. For one thing, it's fun. And another thing, when somebody says, why do you do that? He can say, not, I saw it on TV. Tom did it on TV. He said, no, I went out to the range and I tested this. Bullet stopped in the 3rd jug of water with the AR and went through 6 jugs of water with the 30 caliber carbine. That's information that you can use right there. When you're thinking about home defense gun, handguns are good, but rifles are better. The reason you use a handgun is because you didn't have a rifle handy. The reason we carry handguns is because it makes people nervous when we carry long guns. But in your home, you can have a shotgun or a rifle, and either one of those is much better at stopping a threat than a handgun is. It's just really simple as that. What are your range reports? 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, we'll talk about holsters.